Hey, it's good to see you here. Let me ask you something. What would you do if one day, out of nowhere, you got a letter saying you owed the government $100,000 because of a mistake they made years ago, and now they're cutting off your income and health insurance? Sounds shocking, right? But for some Americans, that's not a hypothetical. That's real. And it's happening right now because of sweeping changes happening at the Social Security Administration. There's a new federal department called DOGE, short for the Department of Government Efficiency. It was created at the beginning of 2025 after President Trump returned to office. And at the head of it is none other than Elon Musk. Yeah, that Elon Musk. The same guy behind Tesla, SpaceX, and a dozen other projects is now playing a major role in reshaping how the government runs, including how Social Security works. That alone raises a lot of questions, but what's really got people upset and what triggered a major lawsuit is how these changes are affecting some of the most vulnerable people in our country. We're talking about folks with disabilities, the elderly, and others who depend on Social Security just to get by day to day. So today, I want to walk you through what's going on, what it could mean for you or someone you care about, and what the lawsuit is really trying to stop. Stick around, because understanding this could make a huge difference in how you plan your future or support others through theirs. And while you're here, if you find this kind of breakdown helpful, make sure to subscribe. It really helps us keep this channel running and bring clarity to these kinds of important but often confusing topics. Now, let's explore further. So what exactly happened? Well, at the start of this year, President Trump signed an executive order that created DOGE. Its goal sounds simple on paper: cut waste, streamline services, and improve efficiency. And look, that's a goal most of us can agree with. No one likes bloated systems or red tape. But the way it's being carried out, well, that's where things get messy. DOGE targeted the Social Security Administration almost immediately. In just the first few months, over 7,000 employees were laid off. Entire departments were shut down. That includes the Office of Civil Rights and Equal Opportunity and the Office of Transformation, which was working on modernizing services like online forms and electronic signatures. Without those departments, a lot of people are left with no real help when something goes wrong. If you've ever tried calling the SSA, you probably know wait times could be hours long. And now, there are fewer people on the other end of the line. Imagine needing help, but not being able to talk to a single person who can fix your issue. That's what people are going through right now. And here's where it gets even harder for folks. Under the new rules, many people are being told they have to verify their identity in person. That might not sound like a big deal at first, but think about it. What if you're blind? What if you have mobility issues? Or you live in a rural area and the nearest SSA office just closed? For many, showing up in person is not just difficult, it's impossible. So then, what happens if you can't make it to an office? For some, their benefits are put on hold. For others, they're being told they've been overpaid, sometimes for years, and they need to pay that money back now. We're talking tens of thousands, even over $100,000 in some cases. And often, people aren't given clear explanations or ways to appeal. That's why disability rights advocates are calling this administrative vandalism. And if you're wondering how Elon Musk got tied up in all this, here's the thing. Technically, he's not a government official in the traditional sense, but he's been appointed as the de facto head of DOGE, bringing his private sector mindset to public services. And his philosophy? Run government like software. Remove anything that seems outdated or inefficient, even if it's a vital safety net for someone else. He even compared the government to a bloated program full of obsolete code that just needs deleting. But here's the question. What if that obsolete code is actually a lifeline for someone who can't work due to a disability or age? You see, this isn't just a debate about technology or bureaucracy. It's a debate about values, about what kind of society we want to be. And the impact isn't theoretical. The lawsuit filed in Washington shares stories of real people caught in this mess. Take Treva Olivero, for example. She's been legally blind her whole life. She found out she was allegedly overpaid on her disability benefits, something she didn't even know was happening, and was told she owed more than $100,000. Then her Medicaid got cut. Now she has no income, no health care, and almost $80,000 in medical debt. Or Mary Schock, who was hit by a garbage truck in 2022. She went back to work briefly to make ends meet, told the SSA about her income, and thought everything was okay. But in 2024, they suddenly said she was overpaid and now owes $30,000. She's unemployed again, can't get through to anyone at SSA, and she's stuck in a loop with no way out. These aren't isolated stories. They're just a few of the hundreds of thousands, or maybe millions, who are caught in a broken system that's being gutted in the name of efficiency. So then, what does this mean for you? If you or someone you love is receiving Social Security, whether it's retirement, disability, or supplemental security income, it's more important than ever to stay informed and proactive. Double check your benefit statements. Keep records of every interaction with the SSA. And if you get a letter saying you were overpaid, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. Respond right away and, if needed, reach out to legal aid or an advocacy group. Also, if you've been told you need to verify your identity in person, call ahead. Make sure the office is open and ask if there are any alternatives. Sometimes there's a way to submit documents by mail or online, even if the official letter doesn't say so. And next, stay plugged into the bigger conversation. This lawsuit is still unfolding, and it could have huge consequences. If the court rules in favor of the plaintiffs, it could stop further cuts, bring back some of the SSA staff, and reopen offices. But if it goes the other way, this new streamlined approach might expand to other services like Medicare or Veterans Affairs. Besides, there's a larger question here that's worth reflecting on. What's the purpose of government? Is it to be fast and cheap? Or is it to be fair and dependable, especially for those who don't have many other options? And I think that's a question we all have to answer for ourselves. Because when a system is working well, it's easy to forget it even exists. But when it breaks, especially for the people who need it most, we're reminded just how much we rely on these invisible safety nets. Also, let's not forget this part. Over 1.1 million disability claims are still waiting to be processed. That backlog alone can mean months, sometimes years, of people waiting for the help they need to survive. The longer this goes on, the more people fall through the cracks. So, even if you're not directly affected today, this matters. Because Social Security isn't just for the elderly or disabled. It's for all of us. It's something we paid into our whole working lives. It's not a handout, it's a promise. And whether that promise is kept or quietly erased in the name of optimization says a lot about who we are as a country. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you or someone you know been impacted by changes to the Social Security system? Have you tried reaching out to the SSA recently? What was that experience like? Let's talk about it in the comments. Your story could help someone else who's going through something similar. And if this breakdown helped you understand what's really going on, consider hitting the like button and sharing it with someone who needs to hear it. The more people are aware, the harder it becomes to ignore these issues. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Stay informed, stay calm, and remember, you're not alone in this.